that people are so busy, we can try to take quick dips into God. And I'd like to end with just two little stories of trying to take a dip into God in not the ideal situations. They both took place in Calcutta. And we monks try to meditate together as a group in the morning and in the evening. My evenings were with a different group of people at the corner of Esplanade in Calcutta. All the buses and the mobs of people, and I was alone, and I was trying to get back to the ashram. And without going into the whole story, I got on the bus, probably the wrong bus, as one of the Indian devotees told me. She saw me through the crowd, and I was on the wrong bus, but couldn't tell me I was going. Bouncing all the way down to the end. Finally sitting down on the seat, half a seat, one spring instead of two. Not being able to find the spine, to do Kriya, just mentally even. In other words, we know what it's like to be busy, to not have the ideal situations. We do it anyway. We'll do Kriya mentally, standing in the airport if necessary. So here I was trying to do it, and then I realized I'm having my group meditation with a different group of people. The monks are having arati with a beautiful incense. The Ganges is there. The sailboats are going down as the sun is setting. But I was having my group meditation. Another morning, and this was the first time that I levitated. I'll correct that. It was the only time that I levitated. And this was in the morning. And I had to go very early into Calcutta. So I did the techniques in my room, but I didn't have time for this loving relationship with God. So I was alone, and I went to the bus station at Dakshineswar, and that's the end of the line. The bus starts there, and then it goes into Calcutta. And I got there for the first run in the morning. Now, all the other buses that I'd ever seen, Indian buses, were filled with people bulging out the back, the bus often tilted to one side like this, and the bumper just, an inch or two from the road like this, looked like a beehive with people on it. But this time, one of the greatest miracles, the bus was absolutely empty. I didn't know buses could be empty in India. And there was just the driver, the ticket taker, and me. So I went to the back of the bus. I wanted just to not pay any attention to them. And I went into the back left-hand corner, and it was a little bit rounded. And I had a chutter with me, a piece of cloth like this that I folded, and put it just at my head there, and laid the head at the back, and said, let me just pretend that I'm sleeping so they won't know what I'm doing. And then I began to practice, I love you, Lord. I love you, Lord. And I just forgot everything else. Now, the Indian buses can be very noisy because they're built with big, heavy springs because they got to carry all these people. So when they're empty, they really, they really make a lot of noise. And the windows do not have rubber around them. It's just heavy glass rattling in these metal frames like this, So very, very noisy. But the attention went within, and I wasn't aware of any noise at all. And the attention, just for some reason, became very absorbed in the loving, completely absorbed in the loving relationship with God. And that's when I levitated. And I became aware that I was up in the air. And what had really happened is that the inhabitants along the road, I guess, really did not like the fact that in the early morning this bus driver would go really fast with his empty bus down their street. So they had built one of these speed bumps. And I was at the back of the bus, and as this wheel went over the bump, it threw me up in the air. And this was my great and only experience of levitation. There is a moral to the story, which is applicable to everyone whose family has a television set, or children playing in another room, or neighbors, or whatever, that devotion, as well as the techniques, is very interiorizing. And we don't need the perfect time, and we don't need the perfect place. But whenever we can grab it, our lives are very busy, we have all sorts of difficulties, and that is what makes these teachings so wonderful, because we have been given so many ways to make this relationship with God personal. Whatever the situation in life, wherever we are, whatever the rush of time, we can always have this deep, loving, personal relationship with God.